Those aren't mountains. They're waves.
Yo, what's going on, guys? What is happening? It's your boy Dives, Mr. Truck on Twitter. Welcome to the pregame show in just about 40 minutes. 40 minutes, our live draft, our science fiction live draft and post-game show will go down. Here is a pregame show where I think a lot of people have some things they need to get off their chest because what was fun about this draft, we haven't done a science fiction draft before. We've got a lot of new people here, and I'm really excited about that. But heading in here, the debate became whether or not Star Wars should be considered sci-fi or not. And that just led a massive debate. It led into a massive discussion. People were crying. People were laughing. It was a shit show. But real quick, let's do some introductions. We're only going to do this for about 20 minutes. I'm going to go to my side here. Ryan, first timer here. Ryan, where can we find you, man? Thanks for joining.
Well, thank you so much for having me. This is my first time. I'm not sure how I'm going to do in the draft. I'm just here to have a good time, and hopefully I'm invited back for another one. And my channel's just called Ryan Cam. I review new releases and older movies, just pretty much what I like to talk about. Twilight Zone, lot of stuff. It's been a busy year for me. I finished up a long-running series I started during the pandemic, which was awesome. So I'm only at 178 subscribers, and I'm not subscriber begging. I'm just pushing the energy out into the universe. If you will.
Love it.
If you haven't checked me out, please do.
Hey, no, they're all self-promoting, man. Enough said.
Oh, well, I see a lot of YouTube horror stories of people who are like clickbaity thumbnails and e-bagging and stuff like that. And
oh yeah,
my biggest nightmare is I turn into that, and I don't want to be that guy.
Yeah.
Nah, you good, man. You're all good.
I'm not going to
I would say just grind hard, man. Be yourself, and that usually tends to show itself. And don't ever feel like you're
there. You go.
It's true.
Yeah, one of my friends, Rachel over Rachel's Reviews, has an entire Hallmark podcast network that she loves.
True,
and it's turned out successfully. For
Yeah,
her.
it's true.
Following her example.
Yep.
There you go.
I'm not going to introduce Loretto over there. Everybody knows Loretto. Also joining us is Christian. What's going on, Christian? Where can we find you?
What's going on, everybody?
You're good.
History.
You were coughing away the other day. So.
Hey, you can't hear it in the podcast, so it doesn't count. No.
You did great.
So thank you for having me on again. You can find our podcast on platforms around the internet at Film Optics. That is Optics with an X, where we talk movies, TV, and all things Hollywood.
And then my man Matt, go ahead, dude.
Hey, what's up? I'm glad to be back on again for the Sci-Fi draft and beating every one of you guys. So yeah, you can find me.
Thank you very much.
All right.
You can find me at Twitter at Matt Wyatt, and you can go to my link tree in the bio where I have Snapchat, Instagram, and I have my letterbox where I do my movie reviews.
Awesome. And then we got another noob. He is Benjamin. What's going on, Benjamin?
Hey, nothing much. My name's Ben. I write for In Session Films and Awards Radar. You can find my Twitter handle right here at NinjaNeb. And I'm just happy to be here. I'm ready to stomp some people into the ground, ready to have a list of sleeper picks.
Yes.
And can't wait.
Now we have another noob. He is Austin. What's going on, Austin? Where can we find you, man?
I am so happy to be finally on this damn thing because last time, unfortunately, work kept me on guard. Fuck you, work. Enough said. But I am really happy to be on. Hopefully, I can kick some ass tonight and get some picks that no one's going to expect. You guys can find me, Austin P. Bottom, on Twitter and Instagram. I do basically reviews of movies, video games, sometimes TV, but let's kick some ass and chew bubble gum, shall we?
Let's go. I love
And
the energy.
we've all run out of bubble gum.
Yes, very more so.
And then we have the legend, Manda. What's going on, Amanda?
Thanks, Ty.
You get 30 seconds on the
Queen.
clock.
She's a goat.
Thanks, love. Christian, I am 3 glasses in, fam. I can't think. Anyways, Jesus, you guys know me. I'm always here. I lose all the time. I've only won twice, right, Dibes? Twice.
I was saying, at least you've won.
I've won, but like they didn't count because now I'm not in the championship. It's a whole thing.
I love that Christian.
But you guys can always find me over at AMX ND Reviews on Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd. I'm an entertainment journalist and film critic. My most recent review is Tick Tick Boom. I really loved it, and it's going to be on Netflix next week, so definitely check that out.
Candid Cinema. Check it out. All right, Loretto, let's circle back. Loretto, the floor is yours. Let's circle back to the whole Star Wars thing. Again, we're going to keep this under 15 minutes. Only 15 minutes.
Hey, it's going to be quick, guys. Just hear me out. And no credit to myself, honestly. One of my English teachers when I was a junior explained this to me beautiful. He called
in high
Star
school
Wars
or college
fantasy or a space opera because the definition of science fiction is relegated in the fact that the story is based in a sense that if you take the scientific elements out of the story, you cannot have the story. And what he was trying to explain to me was that because of the nature of Luke Skywalker and the hero's journey and the Arthurian tale, you can take Luke Skywalker's story, put it in the Middle Ages and forget about lightspeed and shit, and you could have the same story. So in a sense, that's the essence of space fantasy versus science fiction. Whereas if you have a story about cloning, if you have a story set in the future about a dystopian government, that has you can't take the science fiction out of the story, if that makes sense. So that was the way he explained it to me. And that's why I don't think Star Wars is necessarily science fiction, because it's not dependent on the science. You could tell that story elsewhere, is what I'm trying to say.
All right, let's go. Hold on, Chris. We're going to go one by one real quick, just for the sake of time, because we got to get ready for the 8 o'clock show. Ryan, yes or no? Is Star Wars fantasy? All right, sorry, Star Wars sci-fi.
I believe that it is, and I think it's hard because I've thought about this for quite a bit, and I think ultimately it's grounded in scientific principles, so it's used off of what we know, and so it blends what we know about science and also fiction, so it all blends together.
All right, so we have a 1 no, 1 yes. Christian, yes or no, is Star Wars sci-fi?
I wouldn't. No, it's not. I would say it is like Loretto said. It is about the hero's journey. There, like I've said before, everyone. There's literally space wizards into this entire franchise. It is about a chosen one. There is a baby Jesus, space Jesus type figure. Not trying to make the literal comparison, but I mean there are a lot of sci-fi elements, but people tend to forget just because a movie just like a sci-fi movie doesn't have to be set in space in order to be sci-fi. So
I love your shirt, Christian.
Oh, thank you.
I
have it on because it has all the theatrical releases of all the movies on the back.
I didn't get the memo to wear the Star Wars shirt. Damn.
Wait, is Loretto literally wearing a Star Wars shirt?
Is everyone wearing That's Stranger Things. Good job,
Flo.
Good job.
Oh, there you go, Stranger Things.
Majority of
I switched it up a little bit.
And elements, but much like Dune, Dune is sci-fi, but I actually think that is maybe 50-50 fantasy. Because farther as you get into the story, there's a lot of he is the chosen one. There's a lot of mythos stuff happening. So
that's kind of how it is from the start. But that's another Reed's discussion.
There's a tag going
Yeah.
All right, Matt, towards yours. Is Star Wars? Oh God, we're getting this bot again. Oh my God.
Oh no. Go away, bud.
Matt, is Star Wars sci-fi to you?
Yes, I do consider this as a science fiction movie. Yes, you have fantasy, you have mystical elements into it. It's called subgenre. You're mixing all that into one film. And it's taking place in outer space, not even near our galaxy. You have a bunch of planets that don't exist. You have robots. You have alien creatures, for crying out loud. You have laser swords, blasters, all that. It is considered a science fiction. Yeah, it's like you said, Christian, it is a 50-50 with sci-fi and
No, I said that with
fantasy.
Dune. For Star Wars, for me, it's more 60% fantasy and 40% sci-fi. For me, at least. That's how I view it. Because like Star Trek, now that's like straight sci-fi.
Oh yeah, Star Trek is definitely more sci-fi.
But Star Wars is so
The best.
like it gravitates to so many people because of that chosen one fantasy aspect to it.
All right,
But that's
Benjamin. We were 2 and 2.
All right. Make that 3 and 2. Yes, it is science fiction. I did a quick Google search and found the Oxford definition of science fiction. Fiction based on imagined future scientific or technological advances and major or environmental changes, frequently portraying space or time travel and life on other planets. So let's count down the list here, all right? Starting with Star Wars. Yes, number 4. It's just Star Wars, all right? Technological advances. I mean, it's a long time ago, but it's got technological advances. It's got
I am so with you,
travel.
Tyler.
All right.
It was the last one in my
environmental changes. I mean, quite literally, it's Nazis in space. I think there's some social or environmental changes. And I mean, it's all imagined. I think it fits there. Also, if we want a better apt description, let's look at it's based on science fiction, science fantasy TV serials. All right, that's a better comparison than just fantasy as a whole. Star Wars is its own genre. All right, that's the hot take. But it's definitely
kind of based off. It was inspired by Dune as well because Dune did come first.
3 and 2. 3 and 2. Yes. Yay! It is science fiction. Austin, you're up.
You can make it 4 against 2 on my end. I definitely think it's sci-fi. For everything that these guys have already said, and more aligned of him, it's more of like a subgenre of fantasy meets sci-fi. And also, from what he was mentioning, it's got everything in a sci-fi film. I mean, look, if a freaking laser sword, for God's sakes, and you have blasters at the freaking Death Star. I mean, sure, there's a lot of fantasy elements, but I really think it's definitely tiers line between fantasy and sci-fi perfectly. So I definitely think it's more sci-fi.
And you have midichlorians analyzing your blood.
Oh, God.
They got wrote back out of the story. It doesn't matter. They don't exist anymore.
Let's not get into that.
Amanda.
It's tough. I agree with everyone here. There's a percentage that it is sci-fi, it's a percentage that it is fantasy, but I would lean more towards Star Trek as sci-fi over Star Wars for some strange reason. I think that Star Wars has more fantasy elements, so then I would definitely put it in the fantasy category over science fiction. So I'm at a no for sci-fi. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Sorry.
Fair enough.
I'm a Trekkie over a Star Wars fan, which is
It's 100%
You are the weakest link. Goodbye.
I'm not the one with the Rise of Skywalker t-shirt on, Christian.
Okay.
That was a choice
I'm
today.
only going to say this once. I have it because all the movie dates are on the back, and I was like, "Oh, that's really cool."
Okay.
It was like $10 at Kohl's.
I joke. Hey man, $10 for that. That's awesome. So.
All right, let's roll on to our next question. What does science fiction mean to you, and what separates it from the other categories? I'm really excited for this draft because it's unlike anything we've done before. We've done so many comic book movie drafts. We've done action, comedy. It just goes on and on. It kind of muddles together in a sense from doing so many. But I think this draft is going to be a little different because only one team. Or each team can pick one Star Wars movie and one comic book movie. So we're going to be going away from the grain a little bit. Away from the grain. Sorry, Amanda.
No, it's okay.
Not many Zack Snyder's movies are going to be available in this.
My heart. It's okay. I'll let it slide just for this one instead.
All right. So real quick, again, we only have 8 more minutes. In a weird way, I loved movies growing up, and I was corrupted early as a kid. I went to see Terminator, Total Recall, The Lawnmower Man, Event Horizon with my dad.
God.
That was
Event Horizon,
I was
super underrated.
It's
Never seen
amazing.
it.
Maybe someone will pick it today. But I love science fiction because it's escapism, world building. Those are literally my two favorite things about cinema. And the right, ingredients with the best science fiction movies have those key components. And you might see that in my selections tonight. So there's a personal, 100% a personal component. For me, I go back to when I was growing up, living the life, going to see movies with my dad. So what about you, Ryan? What does sci-fi mean to you?
Well, actually, Deebs, you kind of took a little bit of what I was going to say, in that it is escapism. However, there's another element that I love about sci-fi is that you can also use it to mirror stuff that's going on in modern times. I love that. I love the spirit of that.
Yeah.
I mean, look around the sci-fi genre. There are so many stories about corporate dystopias and other things that are going on.
Sure.
And like, for example, like RoboCop, that's a whole thing about omni-consumer products and that whole hegemony there. Blade Runner, the Tyrell Corporation. I could go on, but it's escapism, yes, and I love it for that. But you can also use it as a kind of mirror to be like, say, hey, you see what's going on here? It could be worse in another time. And so it's a strange thing to like about it, but I like it. I like the spirit of that.
Well said, Ryan. Well said. What about you, Lo? Any quick thoughts on what sci-fi means to you, brother?
It means evolution of man. It means the progression of all
None of us
our
are going to be
ideals and
picking
how
Battlefield Earth.
civilization
It
progresses.
isn't here,
It's just-
Tyler. Sorry.
Surprise pick on my end.
And
Enough said.
also, just not to take it too deep, but I also just like the grounded themes as well. Like, what the hell would I do if there was a robot in my room and he wanted to kill me? I just think that encompasses a lot of the human experience, and I think that it's fantastical in a way that seems real to us, and I think that's why we like it so much.
Love it. What about you, Kristen?
Well, I'm just kidding. I mean, pretty much everyone echoed it. Truth be told, sci-fi is actually my second favorite genre. Like fantasy is like my number one and always will be. Like high fantasy stuff. But I mean, overall, it's just I never really thought about the question of, what sci-fi means to me, because I usually just pay more attention. I guess for me, it's just about the stories. Like if a sci-fi, has a good story, I'm all there. Like I watched Raised by Wolves on HBO Max. I know it wasn't marketed as much as I wish that it was, but I really enjoyed it because of the story. It was just a very interesting concept. So overall, it's just more about the story for me.
Ridley Scott would be like literally giving you a standing ovation and be like, "Ha!"
There you go.
Hey, it's getting a season 2. It is getting a season 2, so I'm very excited.
Nice.
Matt, you're up, man.
Yeah, I agree with most of the people that it is an escapism. I mean, we want to believe that a lot of the technology that we have that could possibly happen to us. Like, what if we had an AI that could take over the whole world? And we're literally in that stage where we do have AI these days. If it was like 30 years ago, we wouldn't even believe that would happen. But now it's becoming more reality than we realize. And I just love stories about dystopian future or taking place from outer space or time travel. I mean, overall, I just love the story that they're telling and making us believe that we could actually get there.
Awesome. You're up. Is Austin next? Sorry, I'm off the screen. Benjamin, you're up, man.
I mean, let me be honest. Sci-fi made me fall in love with movies. All right. Grew up on Star Wars, which is sci-fi. And then one of my favorite movies of all time, Interstellar, was the movie that made me say, whoa, movies exist. And they're really good outside of just escapist fantasy.
Cool.
And sci-fi is magical because it can kind of mirror things that you think, oh, this is how bad the world could be. It'll never get there. And then 7 years later, you're like, oh yeah, everything's dying and I want to leave the earth and man, this sucks. But yeah, it's magical. It's so futuristic and yet there's like a plausibility to it. And it's just my wheelhouse.
Love it. What about you, Austin?
So kind of going on with line with what everyone else has said, except that horror has been my main love for film ever since I saw Psycho back in the day. But I'd say sci-fi is like my number 2 or number 3 favorite genre. I mean, the world building, the stories, going back to what everyone was saying about time travel, about technology, about mirrors with what's going on right now. but all I want is just a good story to take me to a different place, like with Star Wars, or even let's say, I don't know, fucking Star Trek for God's sakes. But yeah, I mean, it all. Speak clearly, Austin. It always goes back to the story, and I just want to be stuck into that world that I'm going to be going to.
Amanda, finish this off here.
Yeah, well, I agree with everyone here. A lot has been said. A lot of great things have been said. But for me, I think science fiction films, especially, they make me really emotional because they really show the scope of the world and the galaxy at certain times, and then you feel like a small speck. So that's what it shows me. There's a lot of films that I've been really attached to that have been with science fiction that made me think about how we are just this small entity with like so many other things, so many other planets, and just it's just crazy to think that we're just so small. And again, with the storytelling, it can really hit emotionally, and I think that's why I go towards science fiction a bit more, even though fantasy is my number one. But yeah, there's a lot of great stories that hit and have made me cry. I know I cry over everything. But it's the truth. I have an existential crisis majority of the time when I watch these science fiction films. So it's good.
All right, we're at 7:40. Our live draft starts in 20 minutes. Anybody have any final thoughts? Final thoughts before we kick, or we take a break and come back.
Don't pick any of my movies, guys. Just no. I can't say that.
I'm just saying right now that IMDb has Star Wars Empire Strikes Back. I don't see any sci-fi on those three.
Shush.
Zip it.
I mean, I'd be the guy that picked The Last Jedi because I adore that film to no end.
Oh,
Austin, I love you. I'm ashamed that you might be one of the people I compete against within the first round, but
I'm glad I don't compete against anyone.
I like the choice.
I have
Yes.
not, right?
I
Like
love
insert
Last Jedi
name
to
of
no
famous
end.
Hollywood- It's like insert name of famous Hollywood director versus
Yeah,
comic book
right.
movies. It's the faux debate that'll never end.
Oh God.
All right, guys,
I hope that I make it into the second round.
Not against me.
We'll see.
Right,
it never happens. Christian knows.
Well, I got a first round bye, so I'm making it.
I got first round bye. Hey, finally some justice.
You know what? Before work screwed me over last time. I had number 1. Now I'm at number 9. God damn it.
Hey,
Sucks.
No.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's okay.
Well, Amanda had the last pick in the one draft and did really
I'll
well.
work with what I have. No,
I had
Yeah.
the draft I won. I had the
You
last pick
too.
and I won.
Yeah.
That is true.
It depends on the genre. It really, and I think in this genre you're going to do fine. You're going to.
I think the only time the order really has an effect is that first round because you get the first pick at what it is that you really want or whatever you think will do good.
Yeah, I mean, first round, first pick is cool, but it's also a lot of pressure.
It is. It is
yeah.
because there's so many
what
to
do you
choose
mean?
from.
Yeah,
It's
and
true.
your whole board, your whole like top 20 then gets destroyed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like
You
a
choose
chain
that
reaction.
one movie
Fun
everyone
times.
wants. You choose that one movie everyone wants, and everyone's like, "Fuck you, man."
That
I saw
happened with
Zack
the
Snyder's Justice
animation
League from
drop.
Amanda.
I'm saying this because I love you, but fuck you.
The animation draft was
With all
rough.
respect,
I
yo,
admit.
fuck all of you. I'm with
All right.
Hey, all I'm saying is, if you guys could float 2 rounds and just pick CBMs and Star Wars movies, and let me secure the
I'm going
top
to. I'm
3.
just letting you guys know. I'm trying to win this thing.
I love it.
This
Benjamin's
is
like,
for the
please
people.
do this for me.
Please throw.
I'm not going for personal favorites here. I'm trying to win this.
Yeah.
And that's why you won't win, Christian.
In my 40 films, I have no Star Wars or no comic book films. I'm going everything outside of those.
Love it.
So I'm going outside of it.
Guys, let's wrap
Oh
it
my
up.
god.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right.
Let's wrap it up. Let's
Let's do it.
All right, guys, in less than 20 minutes, our live draft will go down right here. So don't go anywhere. It'll be a new stream. It'll be on the same channel, the same Twitter account at the Suit Up Geeks. If you're watching us live and you want to join any of our future movie drafts, we have a sign-up sheet. We love the new people that come in, like my man Ryan, like Benjamin, like Austin. It's going to be a ton of fun, guys, tonight. I love the rate of F-bombs already. It's like here.
Well, I'm going to
I'm
be.
really excited, guys.
I can mute myself.
I love it.
Holy shit. I just think of Ryan Gosling, nice guys going, Jesus.
All right, everyone. We will see you in about roughly 20 minutes our draft and post game show will go down. So thank you, everyone. See you in a bit.